So as everyone is joining us, I just want to say welcome back, and I hope you guys are excited for peak week number 2. Again, Jodi's joining us and going to be going over goal planning with us. I'm super excited to learn, so I hope you are too. If you guys did see earlier on Facebook as well as in emails, we did send out a goal planning sheet. So if you have that with you, that will be great as we're going to be using it today. Other than that, I'll hand it off to you, Jodi.
Oh my gosh, Darby, you finished it. Okay, cool. So maybe again, using your little reaction buttons, put your thumbs up if you've got the worksheet, just so I know that you've got it there. Okay. Okay, if you do not have the worksheet, do you have a piece of paper? So just put your thumbs up if you've got a piece of paper in front of you. Okay, so something to take notes with will be really important today. Very cool. Thanks, Andreas. I see. Oh, good, Erica. Okay, Allison, nice. We're good to go. Okay. Does everyone have a water bottle or something that you can have for keeping nice and refreshed and hydrated? Good. Maybe a cup of tea if you're winding things down for the day. I'm very pleased to see so many of you guys here today. This is great. So show of, again, reactions, happy face, thumbs up, whatever you want on, did anyone notice anything after last week's session when we were talking about all the different animal personalities? Did you start to think about different people as being a different animal and understanding that a little bit? Elizabeth does, Darby. Yeah, good. Kayla, yeah, just a little show. Nice, you guys. Yeah, good, Chantel. Awesome. Thanks, yeah. Like, and just interesting, right? It's just an interesting observation when you start to look at people as having their own unique characteristics and communicating in their style versus only your own, right? It's an interesting method that has, it's very effective. All right, so today, and you guys were going to use the chat when you like to, feel free to be jumping in on the chat as well. What we're going to do today, and I'm just going to share my screen here, is we're going to talk about goal planning. Now, we've done this before because I think last year on this day we talked about goal setting, but today we're going to talk about goal planning. So there's a little bit of a difference, and I'm just going to go through that with you. Okay, so goal setting, when we're really talking about the goals, we're really starting to think big. And if you've been in sessions with me when we talked about goal setting, I would have said, you need to close your eyes, you need to look up, you need to think big and kind of think about what your goals are, right? And we'll do that in a second, but that's one thing we do. That's goal setting. When we start to really think about them and dream about them and what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to get there? That's all goal setting. Goal planning is actually doing it, right? Doing the work to get to your goal is the goal planning. And that's why it's important, why I sent out a worksheet today and why you have a piece of paper with you today, is because we actually need to start writing things down and making commitments to doing things. So thinking about your goal, dreaming about your goal, that's only one step, right? Then you always need to put why is it important, right? We did that before. Why is the goal important to me? What's that feeling I get from achieving my goal or thinking about my goal? That's number 2. But number 3 is actually figuring out how to do it. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay. So today is about taking ownership of your own success, right? No one does it for you. No one's going to do it for you, right? You have to start thinking big, and you have to start figuring out ways to make it happen. And when you own that success and you own how you're going to do it, and you have that integrity in you, you make things happen. So I'm going to ask you now in the chat, I'm going to get you to start commenting on the next slide I put up and just tell me what it means to you. So please use the chat and tell me what you think, what that slide says to you. Okay. Right. So we're getting some that say, well, it's about juggling. Well, it's more than just juggling, isn't it? Because it's about practicing and achieving a goal. And I'm looking at words like working your way up and achieving something that makes you feel good, stability, steps to your goal, right? He's probably thinking, achieving your goal, enjoying success, even if you mess up, and trying again. Very good, Lindley. I like that. Focus, achieving, concentrating. That's awesome. And yeah, when you look at down at the bottom, like look how many plates he's broken down at the bottom of that picture, right? He's broken so many down at the bottom, and every single step, there's fewer plates, right? So he's improving as he goes, but he's still not perfect, but he's improving every kind of step he takes until he gets up there and he's on stage in the spotlight in front of all those people watching him. And now he's perfected it, right? So that's really staying committed, right? Because you know what? A lot of us can get down on those bottom steps and say, well, I tried. It didn't work. I tried, right? I tried to eat really healthy for a week. It didn't work for me, so I quit. Versus those who, no, I stuck with it and I'm going to go all the way until I feel really, really good about achieving that goal, right? Andreas, you say he wasn't nervous. He might have been nervous down at the bottom, but I bet you're right. He's probably not nervous now, right? So really, yeah, it's dedication and commitment to what you want, versus giving up too early on, right? And one of the ways that we do this, and we've had a little session on this before too, on that helpful self-talk. And you guys have, whether you've worked with Frank in the past or with me in the past, and we've talked about what it is when you are thinking about what you want to do. It's called helpful. It doesn't always have to be positive. I've put positive here, but it's just helpful. Like it's whatever gets you to the next step. Right? It doesn't have to be positive, because I can guarantee you I would positively like to go have an ice cream, but that's not helpful to me, right? Helpful would be, I don't need an ice cream just because I want it, or I don't need an ice cream because it's going to make me feel kind of crummy later on. That's more helpful talk that's going to get me to my goal versus just saying I don't need it. Like, you know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, positive words equals positive thoughts, results, it goes to positive action and has positive results. So if you start up at the top and you don't have that helpful talk to yourself, it's really difficult to have the helpful thoughts. And when you go through life without helpful thoughts, that's probably the key thing. There's a lot of chemistry that's going on in your brain. And when you have a negative thought or a unhelpful thought or a oh, this just sucks, or whatever it is, that brings everything down. You will never achieve anything when you have an attitude like that. It just can't happen. And we've talked before about the law of attraction. The law of attraction says what you think about is where you're going to go, is what you're going to get. So if you think about sad things, or think about things being, it's never going to go my way, then it never will. If you think about I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to get it, that's what I want, it will go that way. That's just what happens in nature, right? And you just have to work that. It helps. What it does is helps you work for it. So these are really important things to understand. Whatever you're saying, whatever you're thinking, leads to your actions and leads to your results. All right. So what we're going to do today is just walk through that worksheet. And our first page on the worksheet has some questions on it. And don't start yet. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time, so don't quite start yet. But the first question is asking what your hopes and dreams are and their future, like their big picture. You know, big picture doesn't necessarily mean 10 years, but big picture can mean maybe by June. Let's say that's our big picture, right? We're going to ask the question of what would be different? What will be different when that happens? Okay, the next question, this is where we get really into the meat and potatoes here, guys, is what do I already have? What skills do I have? So I get to start thinking about, oh, I've already got that, so I don't need to work on that piece. And then this is the really super duper important part, is what skills do I need to gain, or what do I need to improve? Okay, so we're going to stick on this for just a second before we go into anything bigger. So bear with me for a sec. All right, so before you even write anything down, I want everyone to just sit back. I really want you to look up. You can keep your eyes open, you can close your eyes, whatever it is, but you need to get your eyeballs up to the top of your head. Take a couple deep breaths, and I want you to think about what a goal is that you'd like to achieve. Okay, and before we really dive into it, it doesn't have to be about a sport in Special Olympics, right? You guys can choose whatever you want to achieve. So it can be, again, within your school education, within work, volunteering, sports that you're doing. You want to achieve something in a relationship. So pick one, and now go back into that. Eyes up. Deep breath, really see it. Picture yourself in it. Picture yourself doing it. It's possible that you can even hear the sounds of wherever it is you are in your mind. You can smell it. You can feel things around you in your mind. So just get a really good picture. And always doing it while looking up. Okay, guys, don't look down. That's a crucial part. You need to lift your head and your eyes up. Brilliant. Okay. So what we're going to do, if you can go to your worksheet, or again, if you can go to your piece of paper, and in that first column, again, if it's piece of paper, just on your first piece of paper, your question is, what is your future vision? What do you hope and dream? Okay, now you can write the words, you can write a sentence, you can draw a picture, you can use a color. This is 100% a project that is all about you. Oh, right, we also had health in there too, right? Now, while we go through this exercise, we might just think about one thing, but when you guys finish with our Zoom call tonight, this exercise is ongoing, it's forever, it will never end, because you can do this anytime you want, right? If today you choose something that has to do, as an example, with your health, and it has to do with healthy eating, and maybe you need to gain a few pounds and be stronger. Maybe you need to lose a few pounds and be a little healthier. Maybe it's just you want to eat better because you just feel better when you don't have too much sugar or whatever it is, right? If it's a health thing, I'm just using that as an example, then maybe tomorrow when you want to do it again, you think about, ooh, what is it that I want to do for my work and my career and my volunteering or my contribution in the community. So I'm hoping everyone's just writing a few little notes out. And can I just get a little thumbs up or something to say that you've kind of done some stuff on there? Good. Okay. When I do this, I personally find it really fun because I get out all my colored markers and I like to, certain colors mean something to me. So I like to use lots of colors. All right. Now the next question, and this is a big one, what would be different from now? When you achieve, and this is when, remember, it's not an if you achieve your goal, it's when you achieve your goal, what'll be different for you? And when we talk about that, it would be, what would you have? What would you be doing that's different? What would you feel like that's different? Justin, I think Jordan has a question. Can you just grab her there?
Yep. Jordan Tyson, you can unmute.
Okay. I
Jordan.
feel happy, but not get myself hurt. We still have to be strong and not overdo it.
That's
I feel happy, but not get myself hurt. We still have to be strong and not overdo it.
nice. Thanks, Jordan. That's really well done. How about Alex? Do you have a thought there?
Alex, you can unmute.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm mute myself. So my feelings are big positive without thinking negative. If that's how I just meant to do it.
That's really cool.
Indeed.
That's cool. Well, Alex, we're going to talk about how we do that even later on. That's really neat.
Yeah. Works for me.
Good. Okay, Danielle, go.
This is to do with my work district that I've been at for 19 years. So I
Yeah.
still have to wait and be patient until things clear up and it is safe to gather as a large group.
Yeah. That's a long time you've been at that same place. That's very cool. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so again, when we look at this slide, what would be different is a lot of the times, again, you would say, wow, I'd feel happier, or I'd feel more energetic, or I wouldn't be in pain. Let's say for me, if I actually stopped, let's go back to my ice cream. If I stopped eating the ice cream that I shouldn't eat, well, my knees probably wouldn't hurt walking up and down the stairs, right? Because I'd just be healthier and more fit and carrying less weight in my backside, right? So those kind of things are good goals for me. And that's what would be different, is I would feel better. Okay. So now, what skills do I already have? So go to your next column over. What skills do I already have in relation to that goal that you're already working on? Okay. And I'm gonna say, let's take something like running. Okay. And if you're talking about fitness, and maybe you're a track athlete, and maybe you are a snowshoer or something, and running is something that you do. And what skills do I already have? Well, you probably already have some pretty good fitness. That's a good skill that you probably already have, right? You probably have some good technique, right? But we want to be specific, right? So maybe some good technique in that you're really good at lifting your knees up. So think about, if you're talking about your sport, think about things that your coaches have said, wow, that's awesome. If you're thinking about your job, think about, wow, I'm really good at that part of my job. I'm really proud of that. Okay. And I think, did Laura have her hand up again already?
Yep, and Laura, you can unmute.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my goals is to get to 15 years with winners.
Terrific. And what are you already at?
Right now I'm at 14 years. I actually get to the 15 years in January, to tell you the truth. So, but to keep going there, I need to concentrate and focus and use my time wisely.
And what will be different when you hit that 15-year mark? What'll you feel like?
Well, I already am, but I'll be one of the longest winners employees in my store.
Very cool. And how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel very good because I'll be one of the longest winners employee and the only winners employee in my store that has worked 15 years that has a disability.
That's amazing. Congratulations. So I'm not going to say too much, like Laura, this is really good. You might want to set a goal past January. Just saying. Think big. Okay. Who wants to share a couple skills that you already have that go along with your goal? Who wants to share one? Andrew does.
Okay, Andrew, you can unmute.
Okay, can you hear me? Hi.
Yep.
So this is a skill about floor hockey here that I wrote down. Like it's all sorts of things like miss my floor hockey teammates, hope to see them back soon, and hope to score, go again soon. And one skill is I can run and have fun and can score with a stick.
Oh, cool. I always can see your list
Sorry, it's
there.
a little hard to see here, my writing. Sorry.
Yeah, that looks good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andrew. Okay, how about Cassie? Cassie, can you unmute?
I unmuted. So my one dream is to be like someone who works in childcare, and I wrote down like my skills and everything. Like I already have completed like my level 1 and everything in high school with the childcare course.
That's fantastic. That's exactly what we're talking about. Perfect. So you've already got skills. What other skills do you already have? Other than that education, what other skills do you have that help with that goal?
For me, I'm really good with working with like younger kids.
Yeah. And when you say that you're really good working with them, tell me one that's really specific. What are you really good at?
I'm good with making sure they stay on focus rather than getting distracted and doing something else.
Wonderful. I like that. Okay, thanks. I'm going to go to Lindley.
I'm really good at people skills also, and I work at a hardware store. So I was helping my dad build one of our cook houses on our property, and almost got finished the floor today. So I'm good on hands-on stuff.
Very cool. I like that. That's nice and specific.
Yeah.
All right, we haven't heard from Danielle yet.
This is to do with my work with the kids. I'm a hard worker and happy to see them. They always say I give it my best and have to focus on to remain on task.
Wonderful.
I'm also dedicated and motivated to complete the task, patience and listening skills to children and families.
That's nice and specific. I like that, Danielle. Thank you. Alex, let's go with you and then we'll move on to the next section.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Okay.
When I first started working at Applebee's, I used to clean the dishes and then put the dishes away. And I was in that kitchen for all time until I got laid off because I miss working with people, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but you were good at that though.
Totally, yeah. And in the other job I used to work at Tim's, I was a lobby attendant and I cleaned the tables and chairs and taking out the garbage and just cleaning the bathrooms because how I just kept myself stay focused.
So
On the
good.
contrary, yeah, on the contrary, the reason why I just got distracted is because customers just brought base in that store and then they just started crying or screaming that distracted everyone a lot worse.
Mm. Okay, well, we're going to get into the next thing. So I'll come back to Lori and Jordan in a bit here. Lori, did you just show me a thumbs up? Did you just sign in? Okay, do you have your worksheet in front of you? Did you get that today? Oh, you're muted. Can you just unmute for a sec?
I remember doing this, Jodi.
Okay.
I remember doing this in our first peak. No, in all of them.
This one's just
Am
a little
I
bit
not
different.
correct?
Yeah, this one's a little bit different. So just make sure you have a pen and paper near you.
Yeah, I can, if you guys send it to me, then I will print it off.
Terrific.
And then I'll write it down because I didn't know that we had another session.
Okay, you can meet now again and we'll just catch you up.
Yeah, Lori, I'll email it to you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so guys, we're going to move on to the next question. This is the big one, right? Now that we know what we're really good at and what skills we already have, because you guys everyone has good skills with their current goal. Now let's think about what skills you need to improve, right? And again, whether that's in your sport, if you're talking about your sport and that's kind of where your goal is, think about what your coaches have said, right? Think about the little things that they're suggesting you tweak and be really super duper specific with it. What do I need to work on? Okay. And if it's again about your health, what are those skills? Is it your commitment to it? Is it knowing what food to eat, what exercises to do? Is it time? Anyways, whatever it is, lots of you guys have been talking about your jobs. So what skills, if you want that long-term job or that next level job, what is it? Okay, Darby, let's hear from you.
Hello. Yeah, with me, I need to keep learning and improving on all my skills. It's an ongoing thing with all of my goals and things. So yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Can you tell me one specific goal, like one specific thing you need to keep working on?
So like in bocce, for example, I need to like keep training. I've been having trouble with that, but I'm going to keep training so that someday I can go to nationals again, and maybe someday make worlds.
Fantastic.
Maybe. Yeah.
Right?
Yes, because someday
That's
I would like to go to world because it sounds like fun. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Darby.
Jodi, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, Jordan, did you have one all ready to go to share, that some skill that you wanted to improve?
Gain 10 or 3 pounds because we don't lose too much weight, so we don't get skinny too much, or else we get sick. I do figure skating, so we have to keep training really hard.
Good. And Jordan, with your skating, is there something really specific that your coach has said that you should do?
I do jumps. I do spins.
Yeah, good.
We need to have energy.
Nice.
We fall in sports, so we don't cry when it's bleeding and broken, so we don't have any pain.
Okay, thanks so much for sharing. Let's go to Laura.
Another one of my goals is to lose weight. And I want to improve on that by knowing the calorie intake of the food I am eating.
That is very specific. Wonderful. That's really, really good. Okay, I'm going to do one more Lindley, and then we're going to go on to the next section.
Doing or improving on my soccer skills and losing weight from the weight I gained during COVID. And go for more walks.
Okay, so when you talk about improving your soccer skills, what exactly do you need to improve? One thing.
Be able to actually go into a place or go into a field if it's not snowing and just practice kicking into the goal nets with goalies and whatnot. All of my friends are on my team that work with me, so yeah, I can actually practice at work if I even wanted to.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to go to Jessica, then we'll jump in because we haven't heard from Jessica yet.
Okay, one of my goals is to be able to travel to New Zealand on my own. And for what I've accomplished is to go to, I've been to Europe on my own, but I would like to travel outside of more of the world.
That's amazing. And that's nice and specific, Jessica. Okay. Okay, let's just, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. And I'm just reading some of the comments. Oh, Andreas, that's awesome. Fantastic. So before we move on to our next section, I'm going to share, hang on a second. just so you guys can see, in case you're wondering what the password is for today. Okay, your password is seal. Like the cute baby seal. Who's ever seen a seal live? At the zoo, yeah, Kayla, Laura, Lori, at the zoo or out on the coast somewhere. Who's Cool Dude? I see Cool Dude with Care Bears behind. Who is that?
That's Heather.
Oh, hi, Heather. Love the Care Bears. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, and just give me 2 seconds. We're going to get into a bit more specifics, right? So when we talk about our goals, it's, and as you could hear when I was talking to the individuals, you can't just say, I'm going to get better at, right? That's way too vague. So when you guys are writing down or drawing a picture, whatever you're doing and thinking about what your goals are and your next step is, it's got to be really super specific, right? Let's go back to my eating ice cream. If I'm not going to eat ice cream, what am I going to do when that urge comes and I want to have the ice cream, right? I'm going to have to tell myself, Jodi, you don't need it. Or Jodi, go have a glass of water instead, right? Or Jodi, instead of just sitting watching TV and then you're bored, go and actually do something, do an activity so you're not thinking about having it because you're just bored, right? So those are very specific things I can do when I feel like I want to, cheat on my diet and I want to go have that ice cream. If I was talking about fitness, I would say, okay, what I want to be able to go and hike up this mountain, right? I want to go for a nice walk. I want to feel good. I want to go for a walk. I don't want to be winded. So what are my specific goals in that, right? So I have to specifically think I'm going to go and every 3 days a week, I'm going to get on the treadmill and I'm going to start working on the incline. So that's a very specific thing I'm going to do on the treadmill 3 times a week and increase my incline. So I start to get used to walking up an incline. So I want you guys just to think about, go back to that last section that said, what do I need to improve? And I want you to think about it one more time and be very specific on what it is you want to improve. And you might have 10 things written down for that, not just one. Yeah, I see Jordan holding up lots of notes there. That's awesome. Okay, so now again, you'll see me, we've talked about this before, but I'm just showing it to you again, be very specific. Make sure it's something you can achieve. We've said that our big vision is done by June, but let's say it's something that you can achieve. If you want to increase your jump, right? Let's say you want to practice your 2-foot jump, just your vertical jump. How are you going to achieve it? Like, what step do you take? When I say to set a time, we're going to start thinking about, when am I going to do it? I'm going to make a measurement so I know that I've improved every single day and I can see that I've improved it. Okay, so these are important things when we go into our next step of your worksheet. Okay, so the next step, we got to think about how we're going to get the skills. We've already established what skills we need, but now we're going to set, well, how do I get them? right? So we're already talking about the maybe doing some work in school, right? If I'm doing a job and I want to do it a little bit better, do I need to go and take a class? Is that something that would be valuable in whatever your goal is? Is it something that, again, participating in peak, is that something when we talk about healthy eating? Well, guess what? That's what's coming next week. So that's another option. Okay. And if it's not something that has to do with education, is it something else? How do you gain skills? If you're talking about work, is it maybe talking to your supervisor, making sure that they know that you want help learning something new? Is it in sports? Is it talking to your coach and saying, hey, I really want to improve my shot. How can you help me do that? Right? Is it watching videos of somebody else doing something? My gosh, you know how many times I've had to watch YouTube to figure out how to do something on my computer because I'm not very good at my computer, right? And so I set the time and I watch these videos and I practice on the computer what I'm trying to learn. So that's that how to gain skills. There's lots of different ways. Don't ever think that you're alone because you always have resources to help you out. Okay. And then when we go to that next step, that's the when am I going to do this? That's that commitment. That's you saying, oh my gosh, I actually better make a decision here. When am I going to do this? Right? I'm going to watch videos to improve ... And I'm going to do this on Mondays. Right? Or I'm going to talk to my supervisor tomorrow. Okay. Wonderful. And then how often, now when I see practice here, practice doesn't have to mean sports, you guys. Practice is everything. You're going to learn in the next few weeks how to practice breathing. Who knew you had to practice breathing? Thought that just kind of came with being born, right? But guess what? It doesn't. There's different methods in breathing. If you ever see a movie or anything on someone about to give birth and they have to go into that funny breathing that they do, that's practicing breathing. Right? And if you're going into a competition or an exam or a big meeting or whatever it is, a lot of people really use their breathing skills. So that's something that we practice. Right? If it's something to do with work, again, even if your goal is to talk to your supervisor and that maybe makes you a little bit nervous, that's something you practice. You practice in the mirror, you practice talking to your parents and caregivers and friends to say, how am I going to approach this? Right? This has been very general because everyone has their own individual goals. And your final last section there is who will support me. And this person not only is there to support you, but this person gets to hold you a little bit accountable, right? So let's go back to my ice cream example. If I told my husband and I said, I don't want to eat ice cream anymore, I'm going to stop having sugar and I need you to be there for me to help me out. If I go to open up the freezer, he's going to say, whoa, hang on. And he's not going to tell me I can't because that's not his job, right? I don't want him to offend me. But he can at least question me and say, hey, didn't you write down something? Isn't that on that piece of paper that you said you don't want to have that? So it's that somebody that's just kind of that second set of eyes, right? And that somebody, if it's a fitness thing again, or didn't you say you were going to go on the treadmill 3 times a week? Didn't you say you were going to go for a run? How's that healthy eating coming? Right? Did you talk to your boss yet? How do you feel about that? Can I support you? That's what that person is. So find somebody that you trust, right? And that just can be that accountability friend. So can I just get a show of hands, or even in the chat, do you guys understand the difference between just goal setting, doing the dreaming, and this exercise, which was goal planning? This is when you actually put down in writing what you're going to do to get your goals. So you can either put in the chat, or you can do a thumbs up or anything. Thanks, Carla. I appreciate that. Good, good. Thank you. So we're going to wrap it up here, but before we go to, if there's any questions, just recognize again, I always say, you can copy this piece of paper numerous times. You can do it anywhere you are. This kind of stuff is best when you look at it numerous times. Don't just do it and throw it in the garbage, right? Don't just do it and put it in a drawer, right? This is the stuff, and whether you take it here or whether you make it into a picture, you put it up on your wall, you put it on your bathroom mirror, so when you're brushing your teeth, you're reading it again, right? This is the stuff that when you look at it more frequently, it becomes reality, right? You start to really think about it, just that extra step, right? Goals can come true, you guys. You just have to make them happen, right? It's not magic. You have to do the work. Anyways, you guys are absolutely awesome. I love working with you. And does anyone have any questions? Erica looks like she has a question.
Okay, Erica, you can unmute.
I work at the daycare for 24 years. And I'm doing cleaning for COVID.
Good for you.
Yeah.
24 years, that's amazing.
24 years in May, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, who else? We had a couple more questions there, Justin, if you want to grab some more.
Yeah, Danielle, you can unmute.
Hi, I'm just not sure if this is too complicated of a goal, but one thing that my work uses a lot is Board Maker. It's a visual picture program to help kids learn new skills or words, and to help with daily routines or classroom routines. So is that too complicated of a goal?
No, those are always really good to use, really good to have. And like the visuals are great, because that's when you see something that you actually want to make it happen. But just always remember, get to the very specifics, right? I can plan, you know, again, a big trip and talk about it, but if I don't make that first step, right? Think about all your little tiny steps that have to go towards the goal.
Okay.
Thanks, Danielle. Leonka, you can unmute.
I just wanted to thank you, Jodi. This is a great tool, and I'm going to continue working on it.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Thank you so much. I'm glad.
Thank you.
Awesome. Jessica, you can unmute.
My other goal that I want to do, make it to world one day.
That's a good goal too.
And in any of the, like, between snowshoeing and swimming, that I've decided which one, like if I make it through one day, I hopefully soon.
That's awesome. And just keep working on that board, right, Jessica? And what are those little things you need to improve on to get to those times that you want to achieve?
Yes, and one of the things to do is join another swim club. That I'm thinking of doing that already.
Awesome. That's exactly it.
Yeah, the other swim club that I'll be joining is I swam with them before and going back to them again. Having more competition for me to get used to being a competition again.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessica.
Before we jump over to Jordan, I just want to quickly go to Carla first because I see Carla physically putting her hands up in the air. Okay, Carla,
Carla, you can unmute.
You can unmute. There we go.
Hi, Jodi and Justin, if I correctly spelled your name right.
Yeah.
My goal is to accomplish losing weight and having fun and enjoying doing the peak program mostly. And I like do fitness, like my kind of thing of exercising and to lose weight. And I was wondering if anyone can send me the sheet that we just did because I do not have a copy.
Yeah, I can send it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, let's go to Jordan and then we'll wrap it up.
I just want to thank you because we had to think positive, no, not negative. We had to stay strong and healthy so we don't lose any more weight. So we have to stay strong and not overdo it.
Yeah,
so,
that's very good words to wrap us up, Jordan. That's perfect.
So we had to think positive, not negative.
True. Very true.
Awesome. Thank you, Jordan. So that's all we have for today. You guys are welcome to fill out your goal planning sheets. And if you want to share them, you can send them to the Peak program or you can share them in the Facebook group. We'd love to see what you guys are working on. But that's all for tonight. So I hope you have a good evening and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.